the number of people I'm getting in that particular area. And on the day, the second or the last test date is happening, by EOD, we will announce the shortlist also for the interview process. And on the next morning itself, the interview will start in that particular center, the nearest campus to you, right? And in the next span of 2 to 3 days, we will cover all the interviews. Let's say we tested 5,000 people in a particular center and we have 500 interviews. I'm assuming, I'll just give you rough figures. 500 interviews today, so 500 interviews will take at least 2 days or 3 days with whatever number of panelists I will have, right? So we'll do like that, and the moment the interviews come to an end, on the next morning you will have the results, or at least in the next 2 days, you will have the final results with you. You got the final selection on which role of it, and etc. etc. Clear? Now, when you are going through the second test process, when I say shortlist हम announce करेंगे for the interview, that is also about which role you got shortlisted. That will be decided at that moment only. If not that too, then at least as BSc. If you are really bad, test or clear the test on your own, you figured out some loophole in our process and did something. I hope you all understand what I am talking about. Then obviously you will get rejected, right? But that is confidence here. Second confidence. You might be seeing that the test process is extremely So, with these two things, we go to grand finale, obviously we talked about that, but that happens at later stage. Culmination of everything that is there to offer you the opportunity. Cash prize, we talked about that happens in grand finale. Free placement opportunity, that happens in phase 1. We talked about that in phase 2. Exclusive projects, obviously, when you go to handle the grand finale, when you join us, you get exclusive projects which are designed or kept aside, especially for those people. Mentorship colleagues, we talked about it. One mentor allotted to each and every team to live with them for the 4 days, to mentor them all in all. And each of those mentors will be experts with at least 15 years of experience in each area. Internship, champion of champions. We're talking about champion of champions. That means once you are in the top 100, you are already a winner. But we will identify one person who has an extraordinary winner. Not just skill, but what are other factors as well. How fast you can grasp others' idea, how many you learn from something how you learn the way to the project, etc. Based on the interest you have. One champion of champions, an individual award, will be awarded to one person. That is something to inspire. That's how it has been the whole country. Right? Guys, do the military certification, internship. This is only, again, an invite-only internship. That means you first have to have the offer letter from our side of specialist program level 1. Specifically, it is for level 1, 11 and you want a job. Okay? So once you get that, to identify 300 good people and we will take them forward for this internship. The best part of this internship is, it is culmination of 2 things. Classroom training in Mysore, so we first send you to Mysore, or you come to Mysore, whatever, right? You do the classroom training there, and then we deploy you to different centers where you can actually congratulations, and you join us. But when you join us, you do not need to again go through the training process. You have applied and not do that. Because you have done this in person. Right? We are ready now for training. Now, cycle is also good. Otherwise, cycle will be 50,000 rupees. This is just a picture of the last 100 lot of leadership of Infosys and also at the back as an organizing team member. By the way, I lead the core member team or the core team of Activity, which comprises of 5 people only who run this program together throughout the nation and today. 5 people. Key steps. You have already talked about that. I'm just keeping it. Take the survey form, complete registration. So for the qualified out, on the ground to qualified, EPI is equal to the out to visit for the interview process, EPI, the offer communication or the intent to offer communication has to go. Registered email address, top 100 gets identified for having not and that's the right level. How the first test will look like. This is how it is. 3 questions, 3 hours. Easy, medium, hard. 3 categories, difficulty level. These questions are hands-on questions. That means you can use any of these programming languages, C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, and you can choose it differently as well. That means if you are attempting the first question in JavaScript and you want to solve the other one in C++, you can do that, right? And if you want to navigate between these questions, that means you want to leave the first question which you are attempting right now in midway, go to the second one, come back to it later, your course will remain intact, even in the virtual platform. But uninterrupted internet should be there. Unless the internet will not be there, we will not be able to continue. Right? So internet should be there. We will make sure that everything is intact and we can come back and we can from there and do that. Virtual communication this. And go to the second part. The only difference between the first qualifier and the second qualifier is this. The second one is physical, will be physically monitored and doctored in the building. And last question will also be there, complex. Complex question will be calculation or will require you to apply multiple concepts. It will be a layered question, multiple layers. You will have to dissect it, solve it in a proper way so that you can develop a mini project kind of thing. It will not be that extensive, but it will be there. Okay? And now, why it will be there in the second phase is because so that you can full-fledgedly showcase your skills of coding if you have that, or if you have practiced enough for these kind of questions. Right? There are 2 kind of people who can solve it, or solve the entire paper. One who naturally have a instinct for these kind of things. That means they are really good from the very beginning and they have done a lot of things in particular domain. Second, they were not so good but have practiced this kind of questions quite a lot. Trust me, practice is the key. There are 2 things that I have always heard from each and every I knew the solution. I knew the syntax, I knew the approach, I was 90% there, just 10% somewhere in my code, I was getting diluted because of which my hidden test cases were not passing. And if I would have practiced it enough, आज ये हो जाता मेरा. अभी मैं DSC नहीं SD के लिए इंटरव्यू कर रहा होता. This is the basic statement that I have received from every institution, not just national and premier, every institution. So it boils down to your practice. Now, understand this. I try my best to give you a glimpse of how the platform will look like, how the test will look like. I hope you have started studying for it at least. Yes? See, once you open that particular platform of ours, log in, run the system check, give it the permissions it requires, the test will start. First thing you do is you choose your programming language for the question. Then second thing that I suppose you will do is go through each and every question first.